Hello everyone. Let's talk about shift report, how we have to fill our shift reports. If there's any confusion regarding shift report, that will be cleared. So first of all, we have this date section here where we have to update the date. I think all of you are familiar with how to do the shift reports. Maybe there are some confusions which will be cleared with this video. Then there is team and team leader's name. So suppose here you have to mention team. Rizvi's team is team D, then space, then dash, then team leader's name. So you have to specify team name as well, A, B, C, D. And here to change the shift, you have to remove the X mark in that, and suppose you are in the afternoon shift, you can put X mark here and it will change shift as well for you. Suppose you are in the night shift, so you remove this and put the mark here, it will be night shift. And to fill the details in the PM, as I already mentioned in the PM checklist report, that how we have to fill that, and the units are combined, like X-ray machine contain the units which are let's talk about that again. If you are doing any PMs, so let's see how many units we have. We have all these units, so anything, we have all these units here. So body scanner is one unit, so you will make one report for that. ETD is one unit, you will make one report for that. Also here we have WTMD, it's one unit, you will make one report for that. So after that we have X-ray machines. So X-ray machine serial number is here. So anything which comes with the X-ray machine is a combined unit. For example, if we are doing PM in passenger screening area, so we have an X-ray machine there. So with that we have some units connected which are TRS. So TRS is a part of X-ray machine. It's only specified as separate units in the PM list, so that guys will understand that we have to work on all of these units. But for making the report, you have to think of that as a combined unit. It's a single unit. So for example, we have PVS, we have SVS. So SVS is here, so PVS operator workstation. So these are all parts of that X-ray machine. So for making a PM report, you have to specify the serial number of the machine and make that report. And TRS and PVS and SVS, you don't have to make separate reports for that. You have to make single report. And the numbers which are with the PVS or SVS or TRS or HHMD also, the HHMD also includes in the X-ray machine. It's a separate part, separate unit, but it's a small unit which will be used for checking passengers. But you have to specify that in the same PM report. So in the notes section, you can mention the serial number of HHMD or PVS or SVS. You have to mention that. Same applies for the mid lane or the base lane. If there is MSTS, you have to mention the serial number of MSTS in the same PM report. Just mention the X-ray machine number and rest of it comes with it, so it will be included. It will be a single unit. Or mid lane is there or base lane is there, so all of these things, they will come under this X-ray machine only. There won't be separate reports for PM for those machines. Just take X-ray machine serial number and make a report for that. So let's get rid of this base lane as well. Now we have workstation and recheck stations which are in OSR room. So workstation, for each workstation there is separate unit, so we will have one single report for each workstation. Same for recheck stations as well, same for printer, same for server as well. So workstation 1 report, TMAS 1 report, server each recheck station 1 report, one single report, for printer one single report. So, and also for NetWeav, when we'll be doing NetWeav PMs, it will be single report for everything here as well. For each NetWeav it will be a single report. Apart from that, there is a timing confusions which are there. So normally I'll also print that one chart for that. And also, for example, if you are doing PM of an X-ray machine 920 CT or any other 927DX or RTT or OG machines, any location with the X-ray machine, it will be 2 hours PM. The duration is 2 hours, and you can mention two guys name in that as well. If two guys worked on that, you can mention two guys. If one guy worked on that, one guy is enough, and the duration will be 2 hours for that. And if in case it will take much more time, you are fixing something in the report, or you are fixing something with the machine, so you have to like increase the time accordingly, how much time it will take to fix that machine or do the PM or anything. If there will be any breakdown during the PM, you will find, so any time which will be increased, that will be included in that report. But generic time is 2 hours for that machine. Then after that we have ETD. So for ETD, 1 hour is the duration. The generic duration for PM is 1 hour for ETD. Then body scanner, same 1 hour will be there. For walkthrough metal detectors, we have half an hour, 30 minutes of PM. For workstations in OSR, we have 30 minutes for PM for them as well. So I think that includes all the units. So for server and other TMAS and other things, they are also half an hour PM as well. So this is about the PM reports and regarding the shift report, how we'll fill it. So let's see now. If I have to fill the shift report, I'll put unit type here, serial number here, location, network name if we will have that, or no. If not, then we'll put NA for that. Then PVS work number, if we will have that, we'll mention that. HHMD number, SVS number, whatever number we have, we can mention it here. And any additional information which is there, as we mention in reports as well, we put in the note section. Here we can put in the remark section any additional numbers or any additional comments which we want to mention about the particular machine, that will go into the remark section. Then we have planned date as per preventive maintenance schedule, PMS. So planned date, what is the planned date, like when this machine was planned? So there is already, you have the date, so you can put that date here, that it was planned this day. If you done the PM on the same day, then you can mention the date you did PM, or if it was done some other day, so you can mention the date which when it was done. And same for the timing, start timing and end date when you completed the PM, and end time, and total hours, how much time it took to complete the PM. And after that, status, as you know, we have to mention what is the status of the machine. It's okay, normally it should be okay after the PM. And faults observed, if there were any faults which you observed during the PM, that you will mention here. And here you will mention the report number. What is the report number for this machine? When you are making the checklist, the report number which is there, you have to mention that here. And here is the activity log, like whatever you have done during the PM, you will mention those descriptions here. And here will be the technician's name and remarks, I already mentioned. Then there is part number, description, quantity, which is if there's any replacement, then you can mention those things accordingly. And one more thing regarding the activity, we have to specify like what activity we have done. It should be in like little bit of detailed description. It shouldn't be like done PM like that. So in the machine, and check for any problems with the machine, physical damage or physical problems. So we should mention those things in the activity log as well, and guys should check that as well. Now let's come to corrective maintenance. So in corrective maintenance, we have same thing: unit type, then serial number, then location, the network name if there's any. Then these fields should be empty. These three should be empty, because the heading for this heading is only for PM. CM doesn't have this heading, so there's nothing which we have to mention in these cells. So we can directly put NA in all these cells. So then we have fault reported date, when fault was reported, then conducted date, then when we'll start to fix the issue, that date, and after that the time, then completed date and completed time, and the duration, how much time it took. This fault reported date and conducted date are different, because sometimes we'll get some complaint on some, maybe it's occasionally, but it may happen like someday we'll get a complaint but we are not able to work on that on the same day. So we can mention that when we got the complaint and when we actually started work on that machine. Then there is mean time to resolve. So mean time to resolve is normally uh, we don't have to work on that, but if sometimes we have complaints which the total hours for that complaint took, suppose 10 hours for that, but actually the issue was only for 1 hour, which was rectified within 1 hour, but due to some spare part arrangements or some permission issues, it took more time. So for that we have mean time to resolve, like actual time, how much time it took to resolve the issue. So we can mention that here. Then after that we have fault report, like what is the fault code for that, which we have already list, and we can use generic FC35 if the fault code is not mentioned in the list. Then we have report number, which we have to mention here. Then we have activity log, like what activity we have done to resolve that issue. This also for activity log for CMs as well, try to mention in detailed description, so that it will be easier to understand what actually guys have done to resolve the issue. It should be clear. Then we have technician's name. Then we have remarks, like same for this, if we want to mention any additional serial numbers or if there are any additional comments which are there. And then after that there is part number, description, and quantity, which will be there if there's any replacements. And also we don't have to mention each everyone's name in a CM or PM. If it takes that much that many guys to resolve an issue, then it's fine. But I have seen some of the guys have mentioned more guys name in some reports for PM, like suppose for an OSR, in OSR they went for PM and they did the PM in the workstation, but three guys for workstation, three guys cannot do the PM. Like one guy is enough for workstation PM. We shouldn't be using three guys to make PM. Same for the CMs, if there are some small issues which are there which somebody went to rectify, so we should mention the particular guy's name. We don't need to mention all everyone's name there. So this is about the reporting normally. Then after we'll make this report, we have to fill all the details. Once we are done with the details which are up, then we'll click on the save shift report, and our shift report will be saved and we'll attach it, which you already know how we, which folder it will go, and we can send that. Okay, let's talk about how to export QPS reports which you need to send every night shift. So first of all, go to each QPS and collect the data from QPS. Once you collected the data from the QPS, in when you will open your pen drive, you will find these folders which are here. So these two files I'll just delete for now. So you'll find these folders there. So when you will open a folder, there will be this txt file there, text file, most recently received statistics from the date which you take the statistics. So copy this and paste it in the folder copy QPS data here. Same for other. So just copy and paste the data. Let's take one more, copy and paste. So once you copied and pasted these files, don't copy the folders here, just take these files from there, text document files, and paste it here. Once you have done that, just go to your Vata DISF folder. You have QPS statistics report file there, just open it. Once open, you will find this export QPS daily report. So just click on that and it will take you to the copy QPS data here folder. So just select all the files which you have collected, press OK. Once the buffering will stop, just go to the folder QPS exported daily reports. So you will find here all the reports have been exported. We can check the other report as well. So you just have to attach these reports to your email and send your daily QPS statistics report. Once you done sending the email, just put all these files in the archive folder. So all the old files will go in the archive folder. Then also in the copy QPS data, just take all these files and put them in the archives folder. And also empty your pen drive before going to take data from QPS, otherwise there will be old data available there and it will be a little confusing. Every time you are going to take the data, just make sure the pen drive is empty and take the data from all QPS, and then follow the same to import the data and then export the data.